Hello and happy Tuesday from this Tuesday baby at Radically Rational and radicallyrational.com. You know, there comes a time when the conned deserve to be conned. There comes a time when the grifted deserve to be grifted and the swindled deserve to be swindled. And we have reached that point. And yet some of you are still just a mark for this two-bit grifter. Did you see the hearing yesterday? Probably not, but you're going to dispute it anyway because that's your preference. Here's what we're left with. A guy that is detached from reality, a guy whose own attorney general, who heretofore had been his lackey, told him he was out of his mind and that he was delusional. His campaign manager said the same thing. Members of his family have implied that. This is not a preponderance of evidence. This is a landslide, an avalanche of evidence. Here's what happened. He concocted this scheme that the election had been stolen, and let me remind you, he actually concocted the scheme 4 months before the election. He was already laying the groundwork for this because he probably knew or had been told that in a free and fair election he was going to lose. So he had to start putting it in people's mind that the only way he could lose is if the election was stolen. And by the way, that's pretty much a direct quote of what he said, and still some of you overlook it. And still some of you either turn a blind eye or are still wild-eyed zealots. That doesn't make any sense. Either he knew that this was ridiculous, which is one set of problems, or he didn't know, which is an even larger set of problems. You want somebody that delusional? You're the victims. And yet you, this is almost like a domestic violence thing. You're the victim, but you continue to defend the perpetrator. That's what we want in a leadership position? And you're okay with it? You, the conned, the grifted, the swindled, to the tune of $250 million, which is almost real money. Here's what I suggest. You frequently say, Paul, don't say something if you don't have a solution. This is where we are. The best thing for this country is that neither Donald Trump nor Joe Biden is on the scene for the next election, and that on January 20th, 2025, somebody else is president of the United States. I'm not naive. I don't think you can just hit a reset button and completely reset. But we've got to turn the temperature down at least a little bit and give ourselves an opportunity to reset. And while I am referencing President Biden, I am adamantly, vehemently opposed to his proposed trip to Saudi Arabia to meet with the murderous crown prince. There's no upside there. There is enormous hypocrisy there. I defend Biden when he's right. I go after him when he's wrong. The people who are blaming him for gas prices not only have never read an economics book, they probably have never read even a comic book. That makes absolutely no sense. And I do think up to this point he's done a good to brilliant job in handling our interests in Ukraine. But I can't and won't defend this. I'm a realist. I'm a pragmatist. He is now so underwater in the polls on the bread and butter issue that he has no chance to recover. The time frame is just too tight. He is unelectable. He is now officially a one-term president. Let's just hope that Donald Trump retains that status of one-term president as well. Now see, I talked a little bit longer than 2 minutes there, and I'm not going to make $60,000. Real quickly from the toy department, the Astros blew a 3-0 lead to the hated Texas Rangers last night. That wasn't good, but you can't blame it on Jordan Alvarez, who is hitting .500 since May 29th. Okay, the Celtics, they didn't melt down in the third quarter, they melted down in the fourth quarter. Here's the deal, the Celtics have been brilliant counterpunchers throughout the playoffs, but I think this is the end of the line. I think this corner's a little bit too tight. Before the finals started, I picked the Warriors in 6. I will stay with that. This ends on Thursday night. Okay, we started this talking about pathetic individuals. Let's close it the same way. Man, Phil Mickelson, you are a sad, sad caricature. Enjoy your Tuesday, insofar as we can. We're radically rational.